Hey gamers, and welcome to Tier Maker. As you can see, we're going to be ranking the monsters S, A, B, C, D, and F. As per usual, this is my own opinion, so if you disagree, well then, boo-hoo. Oh, it's my opinion, yes? And that's really all that we need to know for now. So, starting us off, we've got the witch. And the witch is kind of tricky. Her power is to collect a hair from every new player that they date. When they're revealed, they get a bonus heart for each different player that they dated. So, in theory, if you can stay under the radar for long enough, you'll get a heap of bonus hearts if you play the witch right. But if you get revealed early, then you can't really do much. You're just a sitting duck when you reveal after you get the bonus hearts, so she's good. Play her properly, you get the hearts, bam, you can win a game with witch, 1 or 2. And then we move on to the vampire, which, very, very good monster. Debating whether or not to put him in monstrous or great tier. I'll put him in great because even with the bonus hearts you get, it's actually going in monstrous tier because, you see, the vampire's power is to infect people, turn them into vampires, and at the end of the game, when he is revealed, how many vampires are there left? Well, that's how many half bonus hearts he gets. And, well, so what's so good about this vampire anyway? It's simple power. Well, you see, the reason that he's so good is because of the branching effect that they gave him. You see, vampires that can turn other people into vampires, yes? While those dated vampires can turn more and more people into vampires. So you don't need to date them yourself. You just need someone you dated to date them for you. And it's a domino effect, and that's what's so good about him. If you can get a few dates with him, then, you're set, you're golden. And infect a person that dates often, and bam, you've basically infected everyone from the get-go. That's why Vampire goes in the highest tier, You could be in great tier because the bonus hearts sometimes can't get you the guaranteed win. Like, you can still lose to, like, Glob or something. But who cares? It's Vampire. Or you get the branching effect, dominoes, the works. So next up, we've got the ventriloquist puppet, and his power is to get a bonus heart every time he dates someone that was rejected the night before. Now, this is kind of, weird using him effectively because, see, everyone will know the strategy that you're going for if you're not careful, which, go for the people who didn't get a date before the night and, get a bonus heart. Debating whether or not to go in good or meh tier. Can't really get as much value as the witch, so I'll put him in meh tier. He's not bad per se, but he's definitely not the greatest, of all time. Like, he sometimes wins a game, like, just once, I guess. Meh, whatever. Ventriloquist puppet. Next up is the two-faced creep, and this guy is rather tricky to put because with a fine strategy you can get all the hearts, but then once you're revealed, you're basically just open to see whoever It is, and you can't just message two people all night if you're revealed, because they know that you're a two-faced creep, and they don't want to risk being stood up just for you to reject them and go to another person. So, yeah, it's kind of difficult to use him properly. I'll put him in meh, I guess. Like, you're not gonna get as much value as the witch, like you stay under the radar and you're good. You know, see, this is the main make or break point of all the monsters. It just, the revealing mechanic, it basically changes up the strategy and makes the game a bit more chaotic, per se. See, monsters like the ventriloquist puppet and two-faced creep are more vulnerable when they're revealed, because everyone will know that you're that monster. And your strategy changes because your main goal of getting hearts isn't affected is affected more than, say, the witch or vampire. Because certain monsters are revealed, well, then sometimes it just doesn't matter. You can go under the radar and you're good. But with monsters like this that get more hearts during the dates and not right at the reveal, makes them vulnerable because, strategy. I'm going on, repeating the same thing. Let's just move on to the Leprechaun. Leprechaun is immediately great because, even if he is obvious to spot, it doesn't really matter. You can force people to be revealed early as the Leprechaun, and that really he makes or breaks a game. You see, the Leprechaun can make a zombie or vampire reveal much quicker, and thus people in the game will know that those monsters are in the game, and that player who's been revealed will, get weaker because people play around that specific monster. See, Leprechaun also gets a bonus heart for every player that drops in the rankings from his two fake. Oh yeah, I forgot. Power. Data player give them two fake hearts, and then when you're revealed, fake hearts go away, and you get a bonus heart for each player that drops in the rankings. Because Leprechaun is like a force of nature. It's kind of hard to effectively get enough hearts to sustain yourself because, only one bonus heart per player that drops. Like, really just depends on how well those people date enough to see if they drop. So, Leprechaun, great. Not necessarily S, but really, leprechauns are like one of the monsters that you're looking out for. You're paying specific attention to if there's a leprechaun in the game, which is what makes him that fine. Next, Monster Hunter. Bad, just a bad roll. See, the Monster Hunter's power is every time he dates the monster that he is specifically given, then, he gets a bonus heart. Seems simple enough, right? Well, the main issue with him is that it's a guessing game. You have to find the monster that you're looking for as early as possible. Otherwise, you're just there. Or, if you have, let's say you're in an average lobby, 8 players, and you're the monster hunter. You've got to find the leprechaun or the glob or something. See how many guesses that you have to make before you can find the specific monster? And even if you do, then it's just one bonus heart. They might not even date you, which denies you both hearts. So, bad, just bad. Not necessarily graveyard because, well, he can do something, but he's not going to be the one on the podium anytime soon. Next up is the Glob, and oh boy is he going in monstrous tier. Glob, if played correctly, can really just win the game. date 3 players and your heart value doubles. Do you realize how much that is? If you don't date a leprechaun, then, or if you don't date, what am I saying? If you don't overly date and get revealed early, then you're basically guaranteed 6 hearts in a full lobby, which is like insane on night 3. Just 6 hearts, night 3. Basically, he won the game if you can get there. Unless there's a zombie in the game, in which case he is already a hell in a handbasket. But Glob, just 6 hearts, night 3. If you can get people to date you, it's just mind-boggling, absolutely insane. Well, maybe night 4 if you got unlucky, but that just means that you're not revealed night 3, which means that people are going to be less suspicious of a glob, and then bam, 6 hearts, night 4, nothing they can really do if you get to date more. Oh, and by the way, he can multiply it further if he dates more people, which, well, la-di-da-da, that's even more hearts. It's insane. And right after that is the zombie, which also goes in monstrous tier because, same thing as vampire, except you instantly win the game if everyone's infected. So, literally, a basic strategy that can win with zombie is stay at home, night 1, and then continue dating people on night 2 and onwards, because if there isn't anything that can reveal you almost instantly, then just zombie wins. He's just very, very good if you can get an infection chain going. It's an instant win if everyone's infected. He also has the branching thing that the vampire has, so, extra zombies date for you and infect further, like domino effect. It's so good in this game, because people are trying to date different people. Glob's whole thing is dating different people. The witch has to date different people. Monster Hunter has to guess different people. Well, you can't have a vampire and a zombie in the same game from what I can tell, but so many monsters rely on having to date different people, which is why the branching effect is so powerful. And it's why zombie is immediate monstrous tier, because, disgusting. Makes sense that they chose the zombie for this one, because it's the most brain-dead role in the game. Funny. So, serial killer is up next, and la-di-da-da, he is just good. He's just good, I guess. See, with the serial killer's power, you have to date the same person 2 times, and then you steal 2 hearts from them, which is, very good. Date the same person 2 nights in a row, night 2, 4 hearts. That often works. And if you're revealed as the serial killer, then, well, people are not going to want to date you more than once, because they're afraid of getting stolen from. Which is okay. Hey, he isn't great because, people will see that there's a serial killer and they don't want to date him twice because, well, 2 hearts being stolen from you, just bang bang, pew pew, that ain't good for you. So he's just good. And time for the mother. Mother, can you really do anything? Nah. Mother is bad because, you see, your power is you get a child. A random person in the lobby becomes your child, and whenever they fail to date, it's another heart for you. Bam, bonus heart. See, the thing with the mother is you can't control what your child does, which is why a mother isn't the best, because, well, mother usually has to rely on their child not getting a date, which is pretty bad, because, well, it's basically just depends on who is your child. Like, if your child is the person, the hot shot in the group that can get dates almost every night, well, that's just bad for you. If you get the AFK person who had to go to dinner, that's free hearts every time. It's just really luck-based. Well, kind of luck-based. You still have to date other people yourself, but, like, it's a power that's almost useless, because you can't control your child unless you do a two-faced creep kind of play and set them up just to date someone else. And even then, I already discussed the two-faced creep and why he's not the best. Because people can see how your strategy is after the first time. So, yeah, mother, bad, bingus. And here comes the werewolf. Whoop-de-doo. You are going to... Werewolf is going to the graveyard. Yep. Just werewolf. The werewolf's power is you date someone on a full moon, you get a bonus heart, and then if you fail to date someone on a full moon, you lose a heart. See, the thing about werewolf is that you turn other people into werewolves. You don't get the branching effect necessarily, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't, help the werewolf in any way. Just very, very bad, because you have to rely on the full moon. And even if you do get a date on the full moon, well, that's just one bonus heart. 1, 2, 3. Just 3. And that's not even counting if you get a date every night, and if you get rejected, you lose a heart, so you could potentially lose 3 hearts if you're bad at dating, as the werewolf. There's a maximum of 6 nights, and unless you luckily find the body swapper, you're not getting enough hearts to win the game. And you turn other people into werewolves, which is, like, fine, but then they get their power plus your benefits, which, like, it just helps them unless they can't get a date on a full moon. The chances of that are unlikely at best. So, yeah, werewolf graveyard, just bad. Robot instant graveyard, because you can't even play as the robot. It's a filler role, meant for when only 3 people play the game. Yeah, I guess it can end the world if it gets in last place, but it gets a bonus heart for every time you message and try and date it, which, whoop-de-doo, it's a balancing game of the robot. Very, very bad. Nobody's gonna let the robot win the game, come on. Alright, just graveyard. Next up, we've got the body swapper, which, whoop-de-doo, it's bad, just bad roll in my opinion. On a full moon, the body swapper, if they date someone, swaps all of their hearts with them. So, like, body swapper and witch date on a full moon. Witch has 4 hearts, body swapper has 1. They switch, witch gets 1 heart, and body swapper gets 4 hearts. Well, plus 1, because you dated, but, 5, 2. Yep, that's the body swapper. And you see, body swapper has to play their cards right, but, like, come on, swapping all of your hearts, if you don't date the person in first at the very last night, then you just lose. You swap all of your needed hearts with someone who isn't as well rich as you, and bam, you lose hearts instead of gaining them because you swapped them all out for somebody else's, and now that person is ahead of you. So basically, Body Swapper just needs to date people correctly, but just it's just not worth it. Not enough hearts to win. Like, are you ever gonna see a Body Swapper win unless they clutch the last night? Nah. And here comes the mummy, landing straight in the graveyard. Mummy is just so incredibly bad. It's just a weaker version of the vampire, because Mummy's power, you basically curse everyone that you date. And at the end of the game, all the cursed people give you a bonus half heart. Yeah, but the thing about the mummy is, if everyone gets cursed, then it's lifted and you get no hearts. What kind of power is that? See, 9 times out of 10, your curse either lifts or you don't get enough hearts to win the game, because what? You're a mummy. Your entire power relies on getting enough people cursed, but just leaving one, which is so incredibly bad. The worst role in the game besides Robot. Just why? It's a balancing game where you can't control how much you balance it. You date one person, see, it's the branching effect. It's why it's so powerful. See, with the vampire and the zombie, you don't need to be careful about who you infect and whatnot. You don't have a curse lifting mechanic like the mummy. You can just go around, spread the infection, and if everyone's infected, voila, you get hearts or win. With the mummy, it's just in a full lobby of 8 players. You have to curse 7 players. You have 6 nights to get 7 people with a branching effect. Just 7. Not even 7, it's 6 actually. 6 nights to get 6 people cursed. Because you need 1 person alive and you're a part of the 8 players. So 6 nights for 6 people cursed. With a branching effect and the fact that you need to still date to get the hearts that you need in order to sustain yourself. That's the mummy. That's his entire game plan. I hate mummy. Alright, so away from that, we have the Vengeful Ghost. The Vengeful Ghost's power is whenever a person you try to date rejects you, that person loses a heart. So basically, if a person rejects you, then they lose a heart. It's as simple as that, and it's meh. Vengeful Ghost doesn't get anything from rejection. Well, of course it starts out with an extra heart, but most of the good monsters can get more than 7 hearts, which is the maximum Ghost can get, unless there's a Body Swapper. But, how likely is that you're gonna find the Body Swapper and get them to date you, and not just date someone else or just lay home just to keep their hearts? It's just meh. It's there, I guess. It's nice to go for a random person that you don't want to win and make them lose a heart, but it's just there. It's a power that's there. Next, and finally, we have the Invisible Man. Now, the Invisible Man is special because you stay in last place the entire game. Or so everybody else thinks. In reality, you start with 2 bonus hearts, and you get had to stay in last place. It's like a disguise. You're disguised from the other players as being in last place when really you start out in first. It tells you your current position too, which is nice, I guess, but you know. Oh, and did I forget to mention, because they're in last place visually, that means that they don't get revealed until the end of the game, which means you don't get revealed to make people think that you're the invisible person. It's fairly obvious that you're an invisible person if you're dating and you're still in last place, but like it doesn't really matter if you're there. Just it's good. I mean, it's not like you can necessarily... You know what? Actually, it's great. Because, well, 2 bonus hearts, that's a maximum of 8 hearts, which is pretty nice, but it's not as good as, well, per se. You know what? Nah. Great tears looking empty, but whatever. Invisible person, it's good. Don't really win games with him, but it's a-okay because you can at least get high up on the leaderboard without anybody knowing the wiser. Unless they pay attention, but it's a party game. And with that, that's the Monster Seeking Monster tier list. Pretty empty, I would say, but whatever, it works. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, maybe subscribe for 2 months. Whatever. Excuse my lack of an outro, but I must go. This has been Local Idiot, signing out.